Here we are at beautiful Port Stephens. A bit of wind, bit of rain, but it is still beautiful because there's always a chance of catching a fish. Now, you may remember last time I came here and fished with Tim Dean aboard Calypso, the marlin went off their tree. Stripes, blacks, just incredible. But I have to say, I get a lot of emails, people saying, Paul, please catch bread and butter fish. That is why we're talking with Brent Hancock. Thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, Paul.
Now, obviously, this is the tender vessel to get out to your big boat.
Correct, mate. We're going to go flathead fishing in that one today, so do it in luxury and style.
I got a bad feeling that's not true, but we are going flathead fishing?
Certainly, that's correct. So hopefully today we'll go and target some dusky flathead and hopefully a couple of big ones and see how we go.
I love my flathead fishing. They're not marlin, but they're just as important to every recreational angler because you can get out there, you can catch them land-based, catch them in a little boat. Today, we're flathead fishing at Port Stephens. This is the plastic that Brent has put on my rod and said, Paul, flathead just love it. It's a Gary Glitter Squidgy, 7 gram or 1/4 ounce jig head. And you can see it's got a beautiful pink tail. So when it bounces along the bottom, the flathead see that and they just cannot help themselves.
Bloody too.
Bloody, I saw him pop out of the water.
Yeah, he's all up on the surface.
Now that is a good call. You just said double hookup. I hadn't cast yet, so you can't blame me. Oh, that's a nicer fish.
Not a little. Yeah, you might grab the net on that one,
I
Paul.
will grab the net. Just bring him round that spine. Oh, he's beautiful. How's the colours in these things?
Brilliant colours in flathead, that's for sure.
Slide him in now. When that fish took that plastic, oh, he's got a bit of go. He's doing all this fighting now. When that fish took the plastic, mate, was he in shallow water? Because I actually saw him bust to the surface.
Mate, he was. He was just sitting on a ledge. Whoa!
It's the world's first jumping flathead. Come here, mate. Sorry, he was on a ledge.
Just behind us there, just on the edge of a rock ledge, into a little bit of sand on the bottom. Straight away, as soon as the plastic hit the water, he was onto it.
And that is our beautiful flathead. And I was being very, very cautious. I picked him up because they are extremely spiky. And you would think that that is too big a plastic for a flathead. What's the deal? What's too big for a flathead to eat?
Nothing's too big for the flathead, Paul.
Yeah?
They'll eat anything. Well, when I say anything, their preferred, obviously, diet is smaller fish. They sit on the bottom, they're an ambush predator. They'll come up, grab a mullet or a whiting or something along those lines, and that's what we're imitating with our soft plastics. Little bait fish, and there you go.
Well, I think it's pretty fair to say we have had everything against us so far today. We've actually spent an hour and a half at the coffee shop waiting for the rain to move, but we had confidence.
We did.
And what, 5 casts since the rain delayed session at the cricket, and we're back into it.
Exactly.
Earlier today, before we stopped to have a coffee and escape the rain and wind, I was using a big shad squidgy. But I've actually changed to a 100mm bloodworm wriggler. The reason I've changed that, because Bushy told me it is his favourite soft plastic for flathead. I've also gone to a ball jig head. His theory is you've got nothing in there but a bit of wire, so it doesn't distort the actual plastic when you put it on. And I've gone to a 9-gram jig head, because we've got a lot of wind, and I just wanted to get down a little bit quicker so I've got a better feel of what's going on. Confidence is a big thing in fishing. I've put some S factor on there. I'm now confident I'm going to catch a fish. I think the biggest trick to fishing soft plastics for flathead, and they're a great fish for people to get started on, look at that.
Oh, yes.
Is to get the plastic down to the bottom. Because,
nice fish.
It's got a bit of go, because flathead live on the bottom. And if you're too keen and you're winding in and you're not letting it sink all the way, then you're not getting it into the zone. So make sure you watch your line. Ooh, he's having a bit of a go. Watch your line, wait for it to come slack, that means it's on the bottom, then lift. Because the flathead sort of lays down flat, he's looking up, he's always looking, seeing, ooh, I wonder what's going past.
Oh,
and he just,
lovely fish.
He just can't help himself. That's a nice fish there. Look at that fish in the water. Beautiful fish, into the net.
Oh, yes.
Well done, mate. That is gold.
That's a beautiful
That's a nice
flathead.
fish, isn't it?
It is, definitely.
Mate, if you can just hold my rod, I
Sure.
might just show everyone at home that flathead. Look at that for a fish. Man, I've got to say, that is one of the fattest dusky flathead I've ever caught.
I would say, Paul, that it's a female dusky flathead. Whoa. And I'd say that she's full of eggs.
Yep.
Should be well over 50 centimetres. It's a lovely fish. Look at the colours in that fish.
Look at the colours in that fish.
Fantastic.
And just look how fat. Absolutely chockers full of eggs.
Definitely full of roe, so we're going to let her go.
We're definitely going to let her go. I just want to measure her first, mate. If you can grab the mat and lay it on the deck there. It's just so pretty. And that fish ate that lure, I reckon, 2 minutes on the boat.
It did, mate. Obviously, you're bouncing it off the bottom there. She's come up.
How big is that?
53 centimetres, Paul.
Whoop, and she's spinning around. Whoop. Well, now, girl, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put you in our live tank. And the reason for that is, just sit in my hand there nicely. I'm just going to let you settle down and rest because you've had a pretty tough couple of minutes. You just settle down there, rest with your mates, and we'll let you go later because you deserve to live. You are so sweet. There you go, darling. Good girl. Wow.
Look at that. Before Paul was rudely interrupted by that good flathead, what he was trying to explain were the basics of jigging soft plastics off the bottom for flathead, and I think he's got one on already. And that's how you do it.
These rude interruptions are fun.
Oh, I tell you what, oh, nice little fish there.
How's the colour of these things?
Oh, they're beautiful, they're sensational.
Every time they come up, I keep saying the same thing, but wherever you catch them, they're different. Look at those head shakes, you can see that. He's got those big aggressive head shakes. You watch, oh, there's a second, oh, look, there's fish around him.
Oh, really?
It's a tailor, is it?
Tailor or another flathead?
No, it's a tailor. Oh, and there he goes.
Oh, there he goes.
Let's see if he eats the plastic again. That is amazing. I was holding him in the water to try and show you. He was actually shaking, just going like this, and I was going to say, he's trying to shake that jig head.
Exactly.
Then the other fish rocked up. I didn't know what was going on. I'll just see, just on the off chance in case he's still there, but that is fairly cool, isn't it?
It is, that's for sure.
Now, could you do me a favour, Brent?
Do you want me to rudely explain how to jig a soft plastic?
If you could just fill the viewers in, that'd be fantastic,
Sure.
mate.
No worries at all. Basically, what I want to show you is the technique on how to jig soft plastics off the bottom for flathead. All we do is we cast out, we let our soft plastic hit the bottom, you can see the line relax, and we basically jig the plastic up off the bottom. Let it relax, hit the bottom. So basically what that's doing is the soft plastic is swimming down to the bottom, imitating a small bait fish. We lift up, jig it up again, slowly wanders back down to the bottom. The flathead looks up, sees that plastic coming down, they whiz up and they grab it. Beautiful.
Well, mate, I actually think I might have hooked one of these little fish that are following me up all the time and was having a good look at my flathead before.
Little tailor.
And that is it.
There you go.
Now,
look what he's done to your plastic.
They are not good friends of squidgies because they've got very sharp teeth and they bite your plastic in half.
They certainly do.
And very, very good point as a bit of a boating and fishing tip is that when you get tail around leather jackets, check your plastic on every 10 casts.
Spot on, mate, because you never know when that tail's going to snip off, and obviously with the tailor, you don't even feel it. Sometimes I'll just completely miss the hook, grab the tail, tail's gone, sails the tailor.
I haven't been fishing long, but I think that plastic's had the gong.
I think so. Oh, yes. Nice fish.
Ooh, that is a good fish, mate. He's having a go.
Oh, yes.
He's a good one. Hey, did he follow it out? Because you knew he was there before.
Yeah, it was that
I'm gonna
big whack.
I'm gonna get this out of the
Oh,
water.
you definitely need the net for this one, mate.
Oh, well, you know what? I'll definitely be getting that net.
Oh, yes.
Now, are we fishing here because of the rock ledge?
Mate, that's the reason while the flathead are here, there's a bit of current, and also the bait fish sit on the edge, and they're just sitting there lying and waiting. You can see, look at the bend in the rod.
And how's this for flathead? People think flathead don't fight. This is 4-pound braid, and 4-pound braid can break at about 20 pound, and it has given us a serious run for our money. There's a big flathead, look at that.
Ah, lovely. And he's engulfed that plastic.
Come here, sweetie.
Turn his head around. In the net.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Beautiful.
You know what I have to say? When I first met Brent, I don't think I was too much of a fan, but he's growing on me really quickly.
Excellent. Good to hear.
Mate, I'm only joking.
That's a cracker flathead.
That is a cracker flathead. That's the flathead you come to Port Stephens to catch. Look at that.
Oh, where's the plastic?
It's down there somewhere.
Fantastic.
You probably can't tell, but Brent and I are just a little excited. Just a little?
Just a little, mate. Especially on a day like today.
A little at first. I'm going to get this out of the net, put it on the brag mat, and let's see how big this big girl is. We've actually wet this fish. We've had her back in the water because the most important thing here is to look after such an amazing creature. So we've wet her, give her a little swim in the environment. I'm just going to comfort her belly. I'm gonna try. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on, I'm just gonna give you a bit of a comfort lift there. I don't want to hurt you. And see if you'll just relax. Okay, there we go.
Out of the way.
Thanks, mate. And I'll just slide you off there. Now, I might need a bit of a hand because we're only on a small tinny and all the weight is pushing us in one direction. What do we got there, mate?
Well,
Tail there.
look at that, nearly 63 centimetres.
Nearly 63, so we'll give her a solid 62. And just have a look at the size and volume of that fish. How's the width of the head? What do you reckon that fish should weigh, Brent?
Mate, I reckon it's up around, definitely over 2 kilos, probably close to 2.5 kilos, definitely.
62 solid centimetres. Just look at that for a flathead. And Brent, I've got to say, you're a flathead whiz.
Well, it's paid off, Paul, all that persistence, that's for sure.
Now you can tell a lot about a fish, can't you, just by its body shape?
Definitely, mate, and one of these fish is obviously, it sits on the bottom. It's an ambush feeder.
Yep. So
in other words, you can see the top of the eye, or top of the head there where the eyes are. Basically, it's always looking up, looking for obviously the bait fish, prawns, and so forth from there. I've even seen squid and all sorts of things come out of their mouth.
I tell you what, you can see why they call them lizards. And let me just say I have to mention my mother for 2 reasons. One, she always makes sure I leave home with a clean hanky. Thank you, Mum, because it's saving my thumb at the moment. And secondly, she loved a point I made many years ago on the show. And that is, Brent, where does the flathead's tail actually start? I reckon its tail starts just behind its head, because that is all tail if you think about it.
Mate, it's basically all muscle, I guess, and that's what propels the flathead off the bottom to grab the plastics. And you can see when that fish ate my plastic, I felt every single second of when it ate.
Well, I'm propelled to catch another one.
Everybody loves to catch a big flathead, but before you catch one, you've got to look at areas where to fish, or basically where you're going to find those big flathead. Places like here with the rock wall leading down into sand are ideal areas. Big flathead will basically lay on the bottom, right next to the rock wall, looking up, looking at all the bait fish that go over the top of them. And this is a prime area right next to us here. Basically all we do is we get our plastics, we cast them in towards the wall, we let them slowly drop down the edge of the wall and jig them just off the sand, and then bang, a big flathead will jump on board.
Yes, gotcha.
Is that what I said?
Yep. How good was that? You can see the sand patch now. What have we got here? Oh, it's a flatty.
Flathead, little fella.
I could actually see the sand patch because I had my spotters on. And as soon as Brent pointed out, look at that, as soon as Brent pointed out, bang, there it was.
Need the net, Paul?
No, you should be right. And you can see this flathead has come off the sand because of that light colour. Just look at the way he shakes his head. Now, come here, mate. Come here. Oh, bit of a tip here too. If you notice something, while that fish has his head in the water, he's extremely happy. If I pull his head out of the water, he tends to splash around a lot because he's not happy. Think about it. Someone stuck your head in a bucket of water, you wouldn't be too happy about it either. So when you're trying to net a big fish, always keep his head under the water. And as you can see, look at this, head in the water, happy as a flathead on a Squidgy 100mm wriggler.
Grab the net, Paul. Got another, oh, nice fish on.
And I've only got a little one on, so I'm just going to put mine there and hope he doesn't pull the rod in. Oh, look at that for a flatty.
He's just engulfed that soft plastic.
I can see a lot of plastic there, mainly that beautiful red tail.
He doesn't want to give up either.
Ooh, he's got some go.
Oh, mate, all flathead, they fight really well.
And just look at those massive boils there. I'll call them Susans.
Oh, beautiful.
Just look at those beautiful Susans as this fish swirls that tail we're talking about earlier. We're getting straight down the deck here, and that is one cracker fish. And slow down, mate. Just look at that Squidgy. Now, seriously, mate, what's the deal with the pink tail on your Squidgy?
Mate, I'm spicing them up. It's not the Mardi Gras. Basically, Paul, the reason for the pink tail is it's an attractant. Okay, we all know that flathead are attracted to pink lures and so forth from there. So what I've done is actually added a bit of spike it to the end of the tail.
And what's spike it for people
at
home wondering?
Basically what it is, it's a dye for soft plastics. So in other words, we're dyeing the tail there.
I've seen stranger things, but I've seen it working very well for you. You wouldn't have any more of that spike it on you, would you?
Oh, I might have somewhere, mate.
You think you'd share with a friend? We are friends, aren't we?
After today we will be.
Oh, good. I never make friends on the first date. So Brent, do the locals know how good the fishing is on their back doorstep?
Mate, I guess they do, but it's the older generation that live here in Port Stephens. There's a lot of retired people that live here, and I guess they're of the old age of bait fishing, whereas now, today, you've got to fish a little bit smarter. And I guess the soft plastics are the way to go.
Hey, I felt a little tweak then, and I thought, I'll just let you talk on. This spot is just insane. This is 4 from 4. Now, these aren't big fish. There he goes. They're not big fish, but they're just a fish a cast, and you've always got that chance of getting that monster. And this is seriously good fun. You just got to come and do it. Port Stephens, I always thought it was a marlin destination, but now one of the best flatty destinations I've come across. Gotcha.
Got him.
Oh, there's a bit of weight there. It's keeping his head down. No big head shakes yet.
It's coming out towards us there.
Yeah, don't know.
Hard to say. Oh, just a little fella.
Just a little fella. He had the bucket mouth open though.
Yeah, he did. Oh. Do you need that? Whoa! Geez, they give a good account for themselves, Paul.
We might have to back up on this one.
We'll do a Tim Dean.
Yeah, do a Timmy. Look at that beautiful fish. And he's got a blue tail. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
They are crackers,
Lovely
mate.
colours.
You just keep fishing away.
Sure.
This is unbelievable at the moment.
Well, I'm going to catch that big one.
We're almost getting a flathead a cast, and we know that if we persist, there's a big one out there. There's got to be a big one out there. And when we say big, we're talking up to 7 kilos, which would be just mind-blowing. Oh. And that is how you successfully release a jig head. But don't call me a jig head. I don't like that. Oh, come on, girl. Well, Brent, I have to say, this has been one of my better flathead fishing days ever. Just look at that bender.
Ah, look at that. Mate, it's a nice fish. Oh, big head shakes there.
Aren't they powerful, amazing fish?
Mate, they are, and I believe that they're so underrated. I'll net this fish for you, mate.
Thank you, my friend.
Straight in the net.
Well, I've been using the 100mm bloodworm wriggler all day. I just upsized to the really big one. I'm not technical, you can hold my rod. I'm not too technical on the size there, but to the really big one. I'll try and grab this guy without getting spiked. And that, and I've still got him. Now let's just lay you like that on my tummy, mate. Look at that. See? And my wife said eating all those hamburgers was never going to come in handy. That is a beautiful flathead. You can see he's pinned right there. And I've got to say, mate, today has just reminded me how much I love estuary fishing and fishing with soft plastics, because it's been just great, hasn't it?
Mate, it's been fantastic actually, and we battled against the odds with the weather. The wind hasn't been kind, but we came up with some nice fish, that's for sure.
It's all good. So if you're ever in New South Wales, remember Port Stephens. You can't come fishing with this bloke because he doesn't run a guiding service, but you can go fishing with my good friend Timmy Dean, and he'll tell you where the flathead are. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
Mate, thank you.
Just too good. We've been releasing some small fish during the day, but these bigger fish, Brent, you suggested we come over to the beach here and just let them go in the shallow water?
Mate, let them go, let them revive, and they'll swim straight away.
Sounds good. Well, this one looks pretty keen.
He's ready to rock.
How beautiful are they?
Look at that.
Oh, so cool.
Sensational.
There's a little puppy, you can go too. We'll save your big one for last. You know what, mate? I reckon I've got one more good fish in me. Can we have another 10 minutes, please?
Righto, mate,
just
if
drop
you
that
insist.
down. There, look at that for a flathead.
Look at that, beautiful.
How cool are they? Oh, this is awesome. Just one more cast.
Righto, one more cast, that's it.
And look at this. How could you kill a big flathead when you can see that beast just sitting there? Come on, girl, off you go. We don't want the pelicans to get you. We don't want the pelicans to get you. Off you go. Off you go. There you go, girl.